Hi, I'm Patricia Couch. I am a midwife, and I want to talk to you about gestational diabetes. It's a common issue in pregnancy for about 18% of women. And so I think it's a good topic to talk about because a lot of people don't get a lot of nutrition information about it or what it is or what's happening. But I want to tell you, I am integrative nutrition health coach. I have a 761 hour training from the Institute for Integrative Nutrition about nutrition. So I've talked to a lot of people about different health options and learned from a lot of different educators and read a lot of books and studied a lot about these different topics. So gestational diabetes is one that's interesting to me just because I am a midwife and I work in this field, and so I get to deal with it on a very regular basis. I'm happy to say most of our clients don't have it, and for those that do, I think that they often get really excellent support around the topic. A lot of people don't understand that you can control a lot of your blood sugar through diet and exercise and good hydration. So I'm going to say that that's, what I recommend to a lot of people. We start by offering the test around 28 weeks, and it's a glucola test. We do give other testing options, and some people choose just to monitor their blood sugar and those types of things with a glucometer. But overall, the standard testing is using 50 grams of glucola, which is a super sugary, sweet beverage. We use the lemon lime, but it also comes in orange, I hear. And it kind of just tastes like a melted otter pop. It's not super exciting, not something you'd probably want to drink all the time, but I don't think it's a super big deal for most people. Some people it affects more because they don't typically have that type of sugar in their diet or super sweet things, and they eat pretty whole foods. So it's different there. So first of all, we give that drink, and we then test people's blood sugar about an hour later. And we're looking for a result that's under 140. And so most people are, and occasionally we'll get somebody that's not. And that reflexes them into a different testing where we give twice as much sugar, twice as much glucola. And then we do a test that involves 4 blood draws. So you get your first one that is a fasting blood sugar. So we have you fast overnight, come in the morning, and we draw your blood before you have anything. And then the next one is we draw your blood an hour after you drink the drink, and then 2 hours after you drink the drink, and then 3 hours after you drink the drink. And there are levels that we're looking for with each of these tests. And if you have too high in this 4-hour test process, that's a diagnosis of gestational diabetes. There are other practitioners that are using different testing models like the 75 gram glucola, which we don't do. We do the 50 gram, and then if you reflex into the advanced testing, we do the 3-hour glucose. So it kind of catches a different category, in my opinion. And I think a lot of midwives agree with that as well. So occasionally we'll still get people that test positive after that, and they'll be diagnosed with gestational diabetes. The majority of people can manage their gestational diabetes with diet and nutrition, like I said earlier. So that's called diet controlled gestational diabetes, which has a lot less risks associated with it because you're diet controlled. So what we're looking for, we have people when they get a diagnosis, get a glucometer. They're going to test their blood sugar every morning with a fasting sugar. And we want it to be like below 92. That's a nice level to be at. And then later in the day, they'll test their blood sugar after they have meals. And I like them to test with a fasting blood sugar and then a 1 to 2 hours after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so that's going to be 4 tests a day. That's the thing that I like to do, and I think it works out really well. And the goal is that your 1-hour sugar is below 140, and your 2 hours below 120. I typically have people do the 2-hour glucose because I like to see what's happening over that time frame. So I'll do fastings and then 2 hours after each meal. Most people can control their diet really well around this, and occasionally I have people that can't. So we're having people write down all of their foods that they're eating. And I also like to recommend this certain book, and this book is called Real Foods for Gestational Diabetes. I'm going to show it to you right here. Shout out to this book. This is an amazing book. The author's name is Lily Nichols. It is such a good book, especially for our midwifery clientele who oftentimes are already focusing on health and nutrition and interested in healthy options, but I think that this book would be really beneficial to the broad spectrum of people working through gestational diabetes. It's easily written. It explains nutrition. It explains gestational diabetes. It explains what's happening in your body, all of those things. So I recommend, I'm going to show you again, Real Foods for Gestational Diabetes. Get it. Get it if you have gestational diabetes. You will love this book. And if you're a practitioner, I encourage you to read it and go for it. You know, I love it and I recommend it to everybody. And it's downloadable too. So you can get it in paperback or you can get those downloads. And it's not very expensive. So that's awesome. So I have people do some dietary changes. And of course it is reducing carbs. It's just a thing. You know what I mean? I'm not saying you can't have carbs. You're not going into a whole paleo diet or anything like that, but you are reducing carbs. And I have people reduce all the white sugars and white foods. So you're not going to have any white sugar. You're not going to have any white rice. You're not going to have any white flour. You can have other rice. You can have wild rice. You can have whole grain bread, but not a lot of it. You know what I mean? It's like you need to make certain food combinations, like combining your protein and your complex carbohydrates. So it's important to look at what proteins are and what complex carbohydrates are. And then you can have 1 or 2 fruit a day, and you're going to look for low glycemic fruit. So fruit can be tricky because you can look at certain things and be like, oh, this is great, I'm not having that much. And you realize that it shoots your blood sugar through the roof. So you got to be careful with that. So I encourage people, if they are having carbohydrates, the complex carbohydrates, or they're having fruits, to combine them with a protein food. And you see a little bit different results the way your blood sugar peaks and dips, and that's helpful. Also, I mean, not everyone's perfect, right? You're not going to be like, here's this great diet I'm supposed to be on. I'm supposed to be eating all these perfect foods. I'm supposed to be eating just a certain way. And I'm not going to have any mistakes or cravings or anything that's going to go that way. Of course you are. You're human. So if you end up having a day where you have more sugars than you plan to initially, and you're seeing your sugars a little bit higher, it's important to get some exercise. So I encourage people to go for walks around the block. I mean, that's simple as that. Or if you have stairs in your house, walk up and down the stairs a few times. It's as simple as that. You don't have to go to the gym and get crazy. You just have to be using those big muscles in your body and getting them to burn the sugar up. And also drinking water. So drinking a lot of water is really, really helpful. Water flushes your system. It helps you to keep going to the bathroom, getting all those sugars out of your body. And drinking water is really important for people that are seeing a little bit higher fasting sugars. If they have that big glass of water before bed and then have another one in the night when they get up to go to the bathroom, because they're most likely going to have a lower fasting sugar in the morning. So there are a couple other things that I like. I like people to take a really good quality prenatal vitamin, and there are a lot out there. And a lot of you know that I'm fond of the doTERRA products, and I like their LLV pack for prenatal vitamins. But there are many others out there. They use these cool ones. Now I like the Smarty Pants gummies. I like the Ritual vitamins. I like the Mommy and Me vitamins that are the raw prenatals. There are so many good choices out there. Those are just ones that I like. I also like people taking digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes help you to break down some of those foods that may be a little bit more triggering for your system. So some people might see these highs because their body's just not breaking things down the way they quite want them to. And I use the doTERRA Terrazyme. It's a broad spectrum digestive enzyme, so it works on several different foods, and I appreciate that. And I'll show you. This looks like that. Terrazyme. And it works for people that are getting indigestion a lot too. You take it with all your meals, but that makes a big difference. And then there is a little oil that I like to put in water, and it's just like a drop with a glass of water a couple times a day. And it's funny. It has a funny name. It makes me laugh every time I say it. I had a dad come in this week, and he's like, I've been drinking the Slim and Sassy, and I hate telling people the name. But that's what they call it. It's Slim and Sassy, but it's a metabolic blend. And that's it, the metabolic blend. And it's got things like grapefruit and a little bit of cinnamon and a little bit of peppermint and things like that in it. And I think it works really nicely to help people regulate their sugars, and it makes your water taste great. So those are some suggestions I have. So remembering that you're gonna work on nutrition. Nutrition is super duper important. Write down everything you eat. Write down your blood sugars. Take account of all those things that you're doing. Did you exercise today? the majority of people that are writing down the things while they have gestational diabetes, and they're going to see patterns. So one person's corn tortilla is fine. You know, they're not going to see these increases in their blood sugar, and another person may see their blood sugar spike with that. So you're going to learn a lot about your body. You're going to learn about what your body can eat and can't eat, and you just need to listen to these cues that you're having. So again, healthy nutrition. You're going to eat good proteins, fresh fruits and vegetables. Combine your complex carbohydrates with proteins, combine your fruits with proteins. Try to stay away from junk foods, stay away from white sugar, white flour, white rice. Those are the big things, okay? Just avoid those altogether if you can. And if you can't, reduce a lot, okay? And watch your blood sugar while you're doing it. Go for walks and drink a lot of water. So good luck. I wish you the very best on your journey. Reach out if you have questions. And of course, consult with your healthcare provider or request a visit with a dietitian if you're having trouble with these things, or look for a health coach, look for a midwife. There's going to be somebody out there that can give you really good information, and you don't just have to give in to the diagnosis if you get it. There's absolute control that you can have, and you can make positive health changes in your life. So good luck. Talk to you later. Bye.